Hello, I'm Nick Corbin, and today for University Television Productions, I'm going to talk about the casting process in the film industry, specifically in light of controversial casting decisions in some recent big-budget Hollywood productions, like the Man of Steel sequel. So just to start this out, I'm not necessarily supporting or disapproving of the casting decisions made on that project. I'm just making this in hopes that it will make more clear to the public how actors are cast as their favorite characters in these movies. But before we go in depth about the casting process, it might be prudent to go over the steps of production leading up to it. First, the script is written by either a single screenwriter or a team. Oftentimes, the screenplay will go through several rewrites by many different writers for many different reasons. Sometimes the director-producer just wants to change some elements of the story. Other times, some writers are brought in to polish the dialogue or action, and of course there are multiple other reasons why scripts are rewritten. Once the screenplay is finally approved, it becomes the shooting script that will be used during the actual production of the film. This shooting script is then given to multiple people who break it down, identifying the key components of the story. This shooting script is then given to multiple people who break it down, identifying key components of the story for their various departments. There's locations, costumes, special effects, and of course characters. The member of the production team who identifies the characters and the size of their roles is the casting director. So after getting a feel of the characters in this breakdown, oftentimes consulting with the director and writer, the casting director and their assistants begin the search for actors. Usually the casting director has a general idea of several actors already that could play an individual role, and will make a list of those actors and give it to the director for approval. Once approved, the casting director begins contacting the agents of the actors on the list and give them a description of the character they will be auditioning for. So if the agents and their actors agree to the casting call, an audition is set up, usually located at the studio producing the film. The first audition is usually very short and intense to quickly narrow down the list even further. Actors are often given either a monologue written for the character or a scene where they speak a few lines. The first audition is extremely important for actors, as they have to make an immediate impression on the casting director that they have something inside of them like the character they are looking for. After the first audition is over, the casting director will then go over with the director what actors they want to cut from the audition process and what actors they want to call back. A callback is of course a second audition with actors that made it past the first audition. Often the callback lasts slightly longer, as by this point the actors are in serious contention for the role. Actors will either read from the same dialogue as before, or some other scene from the script. If it wasn't previously, this audition is recorded to be watched later by decision makers. These decision makers are the director, producer, possibly the writer, studio executives, and of course the casting director. The decision makers watch the audition tapes later for multiple things about the actor. Does the actor personify the character? Do they have a screen presence that draws in the viewer? Is the actor someone that the audiences would want to see? Sometimes in callbacks, the actor will physically meet the director-producer for the first time to discuss the character and the film. This also gives the director a feel of what it'd be like working with this actor potentially. If the decision makers are satisfied with the actors in the callbacks, they will then contact their agents to begin scheduling what's called testing. Testing is the last part of the casting process before one actor is finally given the role. A major part of testing is the screen test. In a screen test, the actor often performs a monologue or a scene for the camera. As a screen test is to demonstrate how the actor would perform as the character on film, it is often shot in a way similar to the actual film production. So usually on a closed set with lighting, props, costumes, and many other production elements. This way the director gets a much better idea if the actor matches their vision for the final product. Other screen tests are done with actors who have already been cast in roles to see what their chemistry is with each other. Directors of course want actors that work very well together. Similar to the callbacks, the screen tests are watched by the decision makers who then make their decision which actor they will choose for the part. So after that, they will contact the actor's agent and negotiate salary, shooting schedule, and other important details. So that's a pretty general overview of the casting process, but hopefully it helped expand your knowledge on how actors are cast in roles in your favorite movies. Thank you for watching. I'm Nick Corbin, University Television Productions.